Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Pokemon Emerald Nuzlocke. This is the first one that I am recording after my city has officially gone on quarantine for the coronavirus, and I have just messed up talking to Mr. Briny. And it has been super weird because, like, this is about the same life that I've been living for the last, 2 weeks. Like, it's really just a formality at this point that we're not legally allowed to leave our homes anymore. But today has been the first day where I have just gotten zero things done. Like, as I'm recording this, it is 5:30 p.m. and I've played with my dog. I've eaten twice, which is probably good, and that's been it. Like, I downloaded this game and got 100 levels into it, which is not a sign of productivity because you're literally just stacking colored rings on top of each other. It's such a little Mozart type of thing, except marketed towards people over the age of 2. But the reason I'm recording today is because I just wanted to feel like I did anything. And I mean, after this, I'm probably gonna get a workout in. We're Skyping a family friend, so it's the day's gonna move onward from here, but I've been conscious for roughly 8 hours and nothing has happened. So anyway, since I've beaten Brawly, all of these Team Aqua Grunts have come into the museum because, again, they're trying to educate themselves because they don't know about the water cycle, so they're just trying to destroy life as we know it for their own personal gain. And I didn't heal like a dummy after my fight with Brawly, and I don't want to come in here with Fryhide all hurt. So I just wasted 50 Pokebucks getting in there. Like a stoop. He'll go back in there, pay another trivial 50 cents that I'll make back in my first battle. Ugh. Just awful. Just straight up not having a good time. Yeah, yeah, thanks. I really did enjoy myself last time when I talked to that one guy and left. Hi, sir, are you aware of what's going on in the basement? Or rather, the ground floor, I should say. Okay, great. You can prepare for your expedition, and now we're both gonna get beaten up because you're oblivious. Okay. Let me guess, you've got a Poochyena, sir? That would make tons of sense. Let's see how on brand this boy is. Ooh, a Carvana. Alright. Actual water type from the water-aligned group. That's fine. No trouble for Tab. He can just shoot you with his mud coming out of his face. Ugh, what an adorable boy. So, it's been a while since I've told a story. So, I mean, this entire thing is Stanford nostalgia. Like, if you can't tell by the nicknames of the Pokemon and just, how much I have been talking about school, I really miss it there. So, considering I will be coming back likely in September because we just got the news that a bunch of summer programs fell through. So I'm not coming back for a long time. I guess I'll go back just to the ballad of me and my friends there. That is, by the way, a Frank Turner lyric. If you can't tell, bit of a fan. It's not a lyric, it's an entire song. But I don't even know what I'm switching into. Hopefully it's not a ground type. Perfect. You're gonna be great. So yeah, the first thing that happened to me that was really worth noting at school was definitely the Pineapple Fairy story, which I am very glad to have coined as such. I never had a name for it, and naming episodes will do exactly that for you. But the next big thing that okay. All right, don't let your dog get bitten by piranhas, everybody. That is a life lesson. Yeesh. The first big thing that happened to me after the Pineapple Fairy was Eurotrash, which is the beginning of the year party that's always thrown by a frat. It's the first weekend after new student orientation. So it's the first time that alcohol is allowed on campus, and you can imagine that doesn't yield to the most tame gatherings taking place. So this big one is one where you dress up not as white trash, but as European trash, so it's Eurotrash. And I'm not really much of a party guy, but I figured I would go anyway, just to, meet some people, have some fun. And my roommate Ivan was absolutely not down to go because he's like me, but like he sticks to his convictions. So he was not going to go. And we were just walking down to the lounge the night of so that I could head out. He could just study and hang out with people, I think was his plan. But on the way, we passed by this one room on the second floor. We live on the third. We're going down. And some people are hanging out in there, so we come in and join them. And then gradually more and more people came in. And eventually we got a group of like 10 together in there, just having some fun, taking some cringy photos. I was dressed as European trash, as one would have to be for the event. And so I've got like this polo shirt on and these like super short like khaki shorts. I had a jacket because it was, you know, an autumn night, but that was around my waist. It was a fantastic look. I'll get a photo of like just me so that I don't expose the identities of my dearest friends on the internet. But we all got together for that, and then they did heal me, right? They did. And we head out to the party, and we left like maybe an hour after it started because we didn't want... Oh, hey, hold on. This is new. Imagine seeing you here, and where might May be? Further on that route, sir. She has a rival battle that always fucks people up. Oh, I see you two are running separately. Well, imagine if I had just spent this entire time holding May's hand. Imagine how slow I would go. Okay, cool. I've got the professor's phone number now. And yeah, okay, that's what that entire interaction was for. Never mind, I thought it would be... Oh, okay, yep. And Roxanne has somehow gotten my number. Cool. Oh, so I can come back and challenge you. That's nice. All she want to do is fight with rock types, but it's cool, it's cool. So... Anyway, we head out about an hour after it starts because we don't want to be there at the very beginning, like all of the frosh are going to be. So we come in, and as we're most of the way to the row where all the frat houses are, we hear some police sirens, and we're like, oh, that might not be okay. And then a little while later, we actually see one of the cars pass by, one of the police cars. And we're like, yeah, okay, so none of us are drinking tonight, right? Like, that's established, and most of us weren't going to anyway. So we're like, cool, we'll move on. And as we get closer and closer, we see weirder and weirder things. Like, there's a lot of people walking in the opposite direction, which should have been, like, a good enough red flag, but we pressed on. And eventually, we found this, like, middle-aged to older woman, like maybe 50s or 60s, just handcuffed to a pole. And we're like, okay... Either we could turn back and not figure out what that was, or we could not do that and get a good story. So we chose the latter, and we come back in, and like there's a line out the door for the house where this party is at, and we don't get in because they've stopped taking people in, but we sort of like look through a chain link fence at some people dancing in the backyard, just sort of imagining what could have been. And eventually an ambulance comes, and we see this police officer getting loaded onto a gurney and into the ambulance. And we're like, what the hell is going on here? So we hear a bunch of rumors that like some kid like attacked the cop or something, and we're like, no way, there's no way. And so we just resolve to like call it a night there. We come back all like safe and excited. Probably the two words to best describe the night, considering we never even got in. But then a couple days later, this article comes out in the campus newspaper, and it says that a first year straight up punched no, not just punched, sorry, that's what we heard. A first year tackled a police officer, breaking his hip and sending him into the ambulance. And this is, again, like week one of your freshman year at a prestigious university. What are you going to do? Tackle a cop. How are you going to make a name for yourself? Tackle a cop. How are you going to stand out? Tackle a cop. How do you cement your identity in a new place? Tackle a goddamn cop. So that was just like the first of many infamous things that our class became known for. And that was the way that I met some of my closest friends out there. But the weirdest thing is, okay, maybe not the weirdest thing, but one of the weirdest things is that the provost was there, like this very high up administrator. She was reported in multiple stories as being present, and she never did anything. She wasn't the one that called the police. She wasn't the one that she didn't try to stop the student from doing anything. She was just present. And we can only imagine this was because she was a deity of chaos who came to absolutely change the course of the evening in everyone's minds. So that provost is named Persis Drell, and our friend group for a long time thereafter was known as the Church of Provost Persis Drell. And we eventually stopped calling ourselves that because it sounds super culty, and some people didn't like saying that they were hanging out with the church when they were having a good time with their friends, which is understandable, but come on, we had so much lore for that. And one of my friends is very well educated in theology and religion. He went to a Catholic school. And so he knows exactly how religions are created and how to denominate them. So he became basically one of our patron saints. He was well on his way to a higher up position in the religion, and then it was unfortunately disbanded. But God, that was a hell of a time. Really still can't believe that it happened half a year later. Anyway, Y2E2 has learned Quick Attack, which is nice, slightly better than Tackle, still not an electric move. She is struggling to attain that status. Okay, now it's time. Now it's time for you to take a little leave of absence there, old pal. Let your paralyzed buddy with guts come in and just wreck this thing. I'm pretty sure Freiheit could take down this Roselia at full health 2 times over. But you gotta let the youngins grow. You gotta let your weaker ones fight until they're literally on death's doorstep, because otherwise they just get left behind in the dust. And maybe there's an analogy there for life. Could be applied to a welfare system, could be applied to a number of things, really, but we don't get political here on Not To Underscore. It might surprise you to learn that the primary purpose of this Pokemon playthrough is not to spread my opinions about politics. Right now, we're mostly going to focus on fighting Liv and Biv. That could not have been a longer intro. It's Amy. It's Amy and Liv. That's not even... that's not even chummy, you know? How am I supposed to think of a duo if their names don't rhyme, Game Freak? Anyway, these guys are worth a ton of experience, and all they do is use a useless move on each other, so that's very nice. And what's going to happen here, you might have noticed what happened the last time we had an identical battle like this, is that Tap's going to miss a 95 accuracy move. But when he's done doing that, he will just obliterate these electric rats, because apparently in every Pokemon game we need a Pikachu knockoff. Apparently Game Freak was not happy with having this ubiquitous mascot of the series, recognized the world over. They were like, alright, but what if we had one in every single goddamn game? Okay, Gen 2, they don't really have one. They've got, Meryl, which is not really... it's not electric, it's barely a rodent. Or Pichu, which is literally a baby Pichu, so that's fine. But Plusle and Minun, Pachirisu, Emolga, Dedenne, Togedemaru, what is the Gen 8 one? I guess... Oh, I'm so bad at keeping up with the new generations of Pokemon. I always they make new games every year, and I swear to God, it takes me 1 year to acclimate to a new generation. So I swear I just got a hang of Gen 7 Pokemon, and now Gen 8 is out. I really can't remember it for the life of me. The one that Marnie uses, the Hangry Boy, I'll put up a picture right here. That thing is the newest Pikachu clone, which is progress because it's not electric. You know, I think for whatever reason I can tolerate them more when they're not electric types, because that just is a hint of creativity. But you know, they're really beating a dead horse at this point. They struck gold once, and they were like, all right, this forever and always, Peekaboo. Sorry, that was the name of Meryl. That's not really what I was talking about at all, but check out that critical hit instead. Also, having edited enough of these, I am like painfully obvious of whenever I like do my little exhale laugh, because it's so quiet, it's so unassuming in any context except recording. But now every time I do it, I like see like a tissue waver, and I know like, oh, that's gonna sound terrible on the mic. Like I'm gonna have to either like cut that or like edit the volume. And that's just unfortunate. That's just not something that I really want to deal with. Wow, this fisher is having an existential crisis. Are you okay, dude? Why are you... Oh, your fishing line's all snarled up. You're getting frustrated and mean. That was anger, but I'm probably projecting my own mental instability onto this character. I told you, day one of quarantine, of quarantine. Okay, before it was quarantine, now it's a stay-at-home order, which is basically quarantine. Is not hitting me super well. But anyway, this guy has level 5 Magikarp that Y2E2 still can't take down because it doesn't have an electric attack. Cool. Please give me like 20 XP points. Ah, 21. You're very generous. I can't believe you did that for me. Is this whole team under-leveled? Is that your gimmick? That you suck? Oh, there we go. Critical hit. Let's go. Alright, now go. Yep, Magikarp. Great. Oh, this one's level 15. This one's a big boy. I better howl at it. See, what I should have done is just get a bunch of howls up at the first Magikarp, and then I would be strong enough to just decimate this one. That would have been the big brain move, but I am only on medium brain mode so far. I have not yet unlocked the biggest of brains. One-shotting a level 15 at level 17 would be pretty overpowered. Pretty ridiculous. Even if it is simply a Magikarp that did not get me to level 18. So, alright, next time we're going to level up Y2E2, we're going to continue on this route, eventually we're going to make it into Mauville. Thanks for tuning in.